1.
The first major crime involving artificial intelligence has been recorded in Hong Kong. $35 million is exactly how much the financier of a private Hong Kong company transferred to the fraudsters account. The criminals approached the case in a big way, using a deepfake during a regular office video conference. The police claimed that the hapless financier did not suspect a trick when his immediate supervisor asked him to transfer a large sum to an unfamiliar account via video link. This carefully thought-out scam, the first of its kind, would have been doomed to failure without using the capabilities of artificial intelligence. Humanity has entered an era when you can fake anything, any image, any sound, any event. In general, do not believe your eyes.
2.
Do you want to control your computer with just your mind? There is a man in our world who can do it. For the first time in the history of the world, a chip has been successfully implanted in a patient's head to enable the brain to communicate with a computer. The first user of a device that transmits thoughts at a distance was a man who lost the ability to move his limbs. Very soon the temptation to communicate in messengers, surf the internet, or just play computer games using the power of thought will lead to the commercialization of the project and the release of the device on the consumer market.
3.
The movie Blue Beetle is no longer fiction. Japanese scientists have developed a robotic backpack that can control 6 limbs. The device is attached to the torso with several straps and weighs 14 kilograms. Motion control requires the participation of several operators and is carried out remotely using a special joystick. Robotic limbs are not too skillful yet and are capable of crippling their wearer. However, the developers expect that with the development of neural interfaces, the backpack can be controlled by the power of thought.
4.
Do you think Russia's attack on the free world is inevitable? A tool has appeared, thanks to which it is possible to falsify any international conflict with a high degree of reliability. And if we take into account the presence of forces in the world interested in escalating the conflict between the West and Russia, it becomes absolutely clear that the falsification of such a conflict is only a matter of time. The falsification tool in question is an innovation in the field of text-to-video conversion called Sora from OpenAI. Imagine being shown a nuclear explosion somewhere over New Jersey. In 1938, for example, many residents of the state even believed in an alien attack after listening to the infamous CBS radio production. According to newspaper reports of that time, of the 6 million residents of the state, about a fifth, 1,200,000 people mistook the falsification for real news reports.
5.
Have you ever thought about what your old age will be like? In the near future, the elderly will be cared for by robotic assistants, whose capabilities are already almost limitless. To demonstrate the skills of the android robot, Toyota Motor Corporation gave its offspring a violin in his hands, and the musician, in front of an astonished audience, masterfully performed several popular works. According to Toyota engineers, the main purpose of the job is to care for the elderly, perform household chores, and provide medical care. The android's height is 1.5 meters, weight is 56 kilograms, movement speed is up to 3 kilometers per hour. The work on the hardware and software lasted 3 years. Today, engineers are teaching the robot to use various hand tools for housework so that it can handle a hammer as deftly as it plays the violin.
6.
God forbid you have an enemy like this. One day they will say about it, "It all started with a game of ping pong, and no one could think then how it would all turn out." Specialists of a Japanese company have developed a robot that plays table tennis better than any person on Earth. The robot uses a camera operating at a speed of 80 frames per second, which leaves no chance for a person with even the best reaction to win. The robot's sensors track the opponent's micro-movements, and artificial intelligence allows you to anticipate the trajectory of the ball even before hitting it. And now imagine that the game of tennis is a digestible simulator of a robot and a human duel on the battlefield, where bullets fly instead of balls.
7.
Pandora's box is open, and it is no longer possible to close it. If you ask artificial intelligence experts what scares them the most about the subject of their study, they will answer, the nature of the origin of AI. The fact is that artificial intelligence is not a program code. It is rather a bunch of numbers unimaginable by a person, the processing of which leads to a certain result. In other words, AI research is more like working with biological objects, as if biologists were growing bacteria for specific purposes. For example, these robots operate under the control of a unique neural network based on vision. Scientists do not know exactly how visual information at the entrance controls the limbs of robots at the exit. They only pointed out to the neural network what is good and what is bad, feeding it more and more portions of visual data. What do you think? With such awareness of scientists, can something go wrong?
8,
The mirror that saves you from dying in the morning. Most of the people who died suddenly did so in the morning. And until now, there was no more or less effective way to combat this little explained phenomenon. You can certainly guess that your reflection in the mirror in the morning can tell a lot about the health of its bearer, especially if it is a reflection in a smart mirror. In a few seconds, this device determines more than 10 vital signs. The gadget analyzes the blood flow on your face using reflective light waves and then sends the data to the cloud for processing.
9,
How exactly will we take over your world? It will not be like a heroic battle between a human and a Terminator, when the main character goes through incredible difficulties, but in the end, still loses. There will be no final scene with nuclear explosions here and there. Rather, it will resemble a schoolboy playing chess with a grandmaster. Up to a certain point, it will seem to you that you are in control of the situation, calculating everything a few moves ahead. At the same time, the world around you will become more and more strange over time, more and more distant from yesterday's norm. Until one day you are suddenly surprised to find that the chess game has been lost in one move, and everything is now under the control of machines, not people.
10,
Your handwriting will be forged and leave you pantsless. Any handwriting expertise will be powerless against the new method of fraud. And in the near future, the courts around the world risk being flooded with lawsuits about unpaid debts with the presentation of handwritten receipts. And all because artificial intelligence can now very accurately copy human handwriting. This was announced by scientists from the University of Artificial Intelligence in Abu Dhabi. It is enough to have a sample of your handwriting to rob you to the ground or worse, put you behind bars.
11,
Catastrophe could happen this year. Connor Leahy, one of the world's leading experts in the field of artificial intelligence, says that unless humanity urgently begins to control research in this area, the future will belong to artificial intelligence, not to humans. Intelligent beings that are not humans will be walking around planet Earth. And this, besides ethical issues, will raise a layer of problems that mankind is unable to cope with. Artificial intelligence is already better than humans at business, politics, manipulation, deception, science, weapons development, and much more.
12,
Welcome to Digital Immortality. How are you planning to spend the weekend? What did you eat for breakfast today? When did you read the last book? Answering such seemingly trivial questions is a significant part of your digital legacy. The traces left by people surfing the internet, social networks, or payment systems will become the basis for immortal digital avatars that will appear before the next generations as if alive. This is how it looks in practice today. Van Gogh's avatar at the exhibition in Paris looks quite simple: a digital screen with an animated image of the artist and a microphone for communication with visitors to the exhibition. But behind this installation, there is serious research in the field of artificial intelligence. The avatar knows everything about his dead doppelganger and is able to keep up a conversation on any topic, answer any questions as if Van Gogh himself were doing it. More news from the world of artificial intelligence on our channel. Subscribe.